Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 8 of the F1 2005 career mode guys, and this one, I'm going to say this straight away, is one you certainly do not want to miss. Now I actually recorded this morning and it was just such an incredible race. I wanted to get it out as soon as possible, so obviously hopefully you go on to enjoy this video. If you're new around here as well, do not forget to like, subscribe. As I said, obviously if you do go on to enjoy and you want to see more of the F1 2005 career mode, we have had so many crazy races so far this season. Last time out episode at the Canadian Grand Prix is certainly one as well that you want to see. Obviously, if you did miss that one as well, it will be in the top right hand side in that little eye. But yeah, today we go into the US Grand Prix. Obviously, the Grand Prix actually in real life shrouded in controversy, I think it can be safely said. The infamous race where we saw 6 starters, the Ferraris, the Minardis, and the Jordans. And this race, arguably, is probably just, well, I say it's obviously far better of a race and obviously far more climactic than the real Grand Prix. But here we are then on the grid. It is 5 lights and it is lights out, and away we go there, and actually getting off to once again a fantastic start. I don't know what it is about these 05 cars, but jumping up 2 places straight away. They're getting a fantastic launch on the run down towards someone though, getting caught out behind Ralf Schumacher. They're trying to look to the outside of him, just keep it pinned on the outside there, but get boxed in once again by the Toyota driver there. And now we go up into P9 of the Grand Prix there, so 3 places made up through the first corner of this lap. There's contact made between a couple of cars there just up the road, and we go around the outside of Giancarlo Fisichella. We're going to try to look up the inside of Trulli as well, just as the green flags come back out. A little bit of contact made with Mark Webber there, so still all going on through the first sector of this Grand Prix. They shoved Mark Webber all over the curbs. They sort of hoped he'd backed out of it by now there, but now we move up into P6 of the Grand Prix there, so 3 places made up through T1 there, and then another 3 places made up through the rest of the first sector there, and yellow flags are now out in this Grand Prix there. Now they've all gone away there, so I don't know if it was a little bit of a bottleneck down at the hairpin there, but yeah, up 6 places from P12 on the grid there at the start of this race, and it is already clear that Kimi Räikkönen is struggling there. I think he was the one that got damage from that turn 1 incident there, which you can just see down in towards lap 2 there, into T1, just getting all caught out, locking up that front brake there with that bit of damage, really effective downforce, and can't really sort of rotate that wheel there on the inside of that corner there. And you can see Barrichello has got past him as well as Fernando Alonso there, and now we're all stuck behind Kimi Räikkönen and myself, and obviously the 7-time world champion, the reigning world champion actually in this 2005 season as well, is all caught up behind the McLaren of Kimi Räikkönen that are obviously still in P2 overall in the Drivers' Championship there, but locking up down in towards the hairpin there. Schumacher gets caught on the outside of him as well, and that's a completely open door for myself. Another 2 places made up on lap 2 of the Grand Prix there, and now up into P4 of the Grand Prix there. So it's been a fantastic start to this Grand Prix there. We really couldn't have hoped for much better here. And now on to lap 4 there, we've got João Pablo Montoya actually retiring, well I say retiring, stopping on the inside at the hairpin there, and he's actually faced a puncture in this Grand Prix there. Unfortunately I couldn't get footage of when it did happen, but only on lap 4 of the Grand Prix, and already both McLarens obviously dominating. Both the drivers and constructors are really not at a good shape of this Grand Prix there. You can just see there, I nearly actually ran into the side of the McLaren there. But yeah, really chaotic start to this Grand Prix there. And now on the end of lap 4 here, all over the back of Rubens Barrichello. Now obviously we're both on the podium there, getting much better drive out of the final corner here. Are we going to be able to have a look up the inside in towards T1 on the second Ferrari driver there? Obviously we've already been able to jump Michael. We now go down the inside of Rubens Barrichello there, giving the room on the outside, but we squeeze him on the curbs, let the traction control kick in on the Ferrari car there, and we swoop right around the outside through turn 2 there, and now up into P2 of the Grand Prix here, and this is already shaping up to be a fantastic race. 10 places made up in the first 5 laps. We can see Fernando Alonso already has an 11.5 second lead there. Well, 2.25 seconds roughly he's been putting out every single lap so far this race, and it's been a fantastic job by him so far there. But on the end of lap 5 though, he now dives it into the pit lane here. I think that's as well as Michael Schumacher there dives it in as well there. And the aim now was obviously to try and go a little bit further in this Grand Prix. Hope that Fernando gets caught out behind some slower traffic. Obviously, if you did miss out last time at Canadian Grand Prix there, we actually did face that fury, if you will. Unfortunately we got caught out behind a couple of cars when we tried to go for the undercut on Montoya there, but obviously that was a completely different race circuit. And now on the end of lap 660, Rubens Barrichello I think is now actually going to dive it into the pit lane as well in this Grand Prix. And unfortunately for me, well, Fernando Alonso is actually back out into P2 of this Grand Prix there. So my strategy of obviously hoping he was going to get caught out in traffic there really has not come to fruition there. As you can see, yeah, Fernando Alonso P2 in this Grand Prix. Christian Klein back up on the podium there, which is nice to see once more. They're obviously we're really carrying the Red Bull team so far this season. And now on the end of lap 7 here, diving into the pit lane there, just clipped the wall on the outside. And obviously Fernando Alonso is going to be able to retain his race lead here. I think he's actually going to be able to extend it even more. The pace of that Renault there was, well, I reckon he would have really been able to give the McLarens a run for their money in this Grand Prix there. Heidfeld stays out one more lap. Klein actually decided to dive it into the pit lane on the same lap I did here, but now we've got Freisacker actually up onto the podium in this Grand Prix. Albers in P4 there as well, and now we've actually been jumped by Michael Schumacher in this Grand Prix there, so pitting that bit earlier has really, really helped the Ferrari driver out there, able to jump myself and his teammate there of Rubens Barrichello there, so that's been a fantastic strategy call by the Ferrari team there for him, but he's still got a couple of cars that he needs to try and fight his way through there. I think we've got the the Minardi even of Christian Albers there, as well as the Sauber of, could be Jacques Villeneuve, I think, if I'm not mistaken there. And he's also got Montoya actually right behind him there, a lap down, and a couple of corners later, Montoya, for some reason, they're decides to dive it down the inside of Michael Schumacher. Obviously, they've had a few battles in the past, and well, we're able to slot past Juan Pablo Montoya there, and well, I don't know if, he's in a good, in happy places with myself at this stage of the season there, but yeah, clearly happier to let me through than, well, considering he was trying to dive bomb Michael Schumacher, who obviously is a lap ahead of him at this stage of the Grand Prix there. But Michael really, really struggling, actually, the 7-time world champion, struggling to get past a Minardi car in this Grand Prix, something I didn't exactly expect to say in this race there, but also quite intriguing, obviously, the fact that these two were 2 of just 6 cars actually in the real-life US Grand Prix as well there. And now on to lap 9 of this Grand Prix. We've got Schumacher all over the back of Albers. Is he going to be able to have a look? He gets forced to the outside, down in towards the next braking zone here. What's he going to be able to do? We've got the best seat in the house here, and I think Albers, he does just about keep the nose up the inside there. We run a little bit deep through the corner there, and now hopefully we can try and get past the pair of them here. It'd be fantastic if we were able to do so there. Get past Albers there. He gets caught up behind Schumacher. We almost push him through, dive it down the inside in towards the next corner there, and now we move up into P2 of the Grand Prix there, all in a bit of a flourish. We accidentally changed the camera angles there. That ruins my run through the Turkey S section there, and well, Schumacher is just going to reinvite himself through that move. Back up now into P2 of the Grand Prix there, and a fantastic little battle we've had going on here. Down in towards lap 10 though of this Grand Prix, just 5 laps to go of this race there, and we get a little bit of better traction out of the final corner over the Ferrari car here. Are we going to be able to do? We were able to do it to his teammate a few laps ago. Yes, we dive it down the inside in towards T1 there. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. Squeeze him out wide over the curbs there, and now once again able to swoop around the outside in towards T2 there, and now back up into P2 of this Grand Prix here. But Fernando Alonso has got about a 20-25 second lead at this stage of the Grand Prix there. Hopefully we'll just be able to see that. It is a... No, it's only 18.5 seconds there. So it looked pretty much there from this point on in the Grand Prix that we were just going to try and solidify this P2 in this Grand Prix there. But yeah, as you can see, actually Montoya now back ahead of Michael Schumacher as well, which is, quite interesting from him. Clearly Schumacher struggling for the pace there, but the safety car has been deployed in this Grand Prix there. Fernando Alonso's 20-second lead will all be gone up in smoke now, and well, could we see for the 3rd time this season a complete robbery of the race victory here? Obviously, it happened last time out at Canada. We were able to take Juan Pablo Montoya in the final sector of the Grand Prix. It happened at Monaco, where Kimi Raikkonen famously obviously had his engine expire with just like 5 laps to go from a 25-second lead at the Monaco Grand Prix. And just 1 lap later, we're all over the back of Fernando Alonso here at this late stage of the Grand Prix. We'll have 2 laps to go of this Grand Prix. He has been so much quicker throughout the entirety of this race, but it only takes one opportunity for me to really, really try and get the jump on the Renault driver here through the final sector of this lap. You see, he's controlling the pace 30 miles an hour as we come through. Really, obviously, just wants to try and get the safety car as out of the way as he possibly can. And it's really, I don't know if he's trying to back me up into the rest of the field there, but it's not really going to be able to work. So obviously, we've got the McLaren of Montoya right on the back of me here. So this is fantastic for me. We won't really have too many threats from behind through these next couple of corners there. The safety car now into the pit lane here. Fernando Alonso is going to cycle up that Renault's V10 once more there, and through the final corner. Green flags have now been deployed. We're going to go for slow in, fast out of the final corner, and it has just about worked for myself. We were in the slipstream up towards someone that we are gaining on the Renault car. Are we going to dive down the inside? Yes, we do. Up the inside through T1 there. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact once more. Squeeze him out over the curbs. And once again, in this Grand Prix, we have been able to make that work through T1. And now, with just 2 laps to go of this Grand Prix there, we are going to take the race lead here. And this is fantastic for myself here. With just 2 laps to go, as I said, we really do need to try and defend this race. Gut him for Fernando Alonso, obviously, if he's not able to take home this race victory. Really, it was pretty much his in the bag here. But, you know, you've got to be at the right place at the right time. And at this late stage of the Grand Prix there, with just over a lap and a half to go of this race, it seems that Fernando is now actually under pressure from the cars behind as well. But on to lap 14 of this Grand Prix, we are still doing absolutely everything we possibly can to stay in the lead of this Grand Prix. In towards the final sector of the lap, it doesn't appear that Fernando is going to get any more chances here through in towards the final sector of this US Grand Prix. You know, we really just need to try and keep it nice and tidy here through the final couple of corners here. But what a race it has been. Obviously, the real life 2005 US Grand Prix wasn't, well, obviously, apart from the controversy, wasn't much of a race to remember. And obviously, this Grand Prix has really been able to, you know, almost fill in the void from that real Grand Prix there. Through the final couple of corners, Fernando Alonso is going to be completely robbed of this US Grand Prix. But it is our 4th win from 8 races here for Red Bull there. Through the final corner we come to win the US Grand Prix. And, well, I just cannot believe it's happened again here, you know. I cannot, you know, this mod, I don't know what it is about it, but it just creates fantastic, you know, just almighty races that really, you know, cannot be described there. But, yeah, we are going to come through to win the US Grand Prix, obviously dominate the North American stage of this season there. And a fantastic race result for myself and for the Red Bull team, obviously, with McLaren's, you know, really poor race result there as well. We're going to be able to gain big points on them, and potentially through the second half of this season, we can really find myself as quite a fierce championship rival to the McLaren duo there. What an upset that would be after they've pretty much dominated the first half of this season. If it was to all fall apart in the second half there, you can see Kimi Räikkönen actually came through for P6 there. Montoya will have come through in last of the finishes there, obviously finishing a lap down there. But yeah, overall, a fantastic race as well. I think that's actually Michael Schumacher's first podium of this 2005 season as well. I don't think he was really expecting him to take this long for him to be able to take home a podium after obviously winning the last 5 World Championships in a row there. But obviously that's the way Formula 1 does work out sometimes there. And yeah, obviously for us, we've done everything we needed to in that Grand Prix. And well, as I said, you know, we got really lucky there. I'm not even going to deny that once more there. As I said, Monaco a few weeks back, obviously we got very lucky there with Raikkonen's retirement. Malaysia, obviously, where we had the ultimate OP strategy there. And then, obviously, Canada last time out as well, where, you know, really the pace was actually looking pretty strong around there. You can see, at the end of that Grand Prix, though, yeah, 1.2 seconds our fastest lap off Fernando Alonso, but still able to win the Grand Prix by just 0.4 of a second there. Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello actually doing a very good job for Ferrari, with Mark Webber scoring, what's that, 4 whole points for the Williams team there, his best result of the season, with Raikkonen, Sato and Fisichella rounding out the points there. Nick Heidfeld just missing out as well, as Jacques Villeneuve there, P10 for Saab there. Will be a little bit gutted that you can take home points from that Grand Prix. But in the driver's standings, they see Kimi Räikkönen and Montoya there once again tied at the top of the standings there. Myself, David Coulthard, now just 4 points behind the pair of them there, with Fernando Alonso for the 4 points behind me. So at the halfway stage of this season, 4 of us are, well, you know, if the next Grand Prix was the final one, 4 of us would still be within a shot of winning the World Championship there. Rubens Barrichello, after that strong result, is up into P5 there, with Giancarlo Fisichella tied with Michael Schumacher for Giancarlo Fisichella 10 points clear of Michael Schumacher there in P6. Schumacher and Jarno Trulli actually tied for P7, with Mark Webber down in P9, Ralf Schumacher 10th, Takuma Sato 11th, Jenson Button 12th, Christian Klein 13th, and Nick Heidfeld 14th there. So it's only the Minardis, the Jordans, and the Saubers yet to score points in this season. And having a look at the constructors' standings as well, McLaren still lead the way. They're 23 points clear of Renault there, a further 17 points clear of Ferrari. We're just 9 points behind Ferrari now, up in P4 of the championship standings there. But Toyota a little bit in no man's land, Williams and Honda the last 2 teams to have scored points in this season. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys have gone on to enjoy this crazy race. Once again, really, you know, getting a bit of a very lucky result. But as I said, hopefully you have enjoyed. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more of this F1 2005 Career Mode. And I will see you next time at the British Grand Prix.